Thai and Fitness, here with one of the instructors, Miles Bell, who's also an amateur MMA fighter, rolls Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and different things. Kind of what we're looking to talk about today is we found out Renan Barao is out of UFC 177 with less than a day to go. He's being replaced by another guy, but apparently what we're hearing is there was another weight cutting loss, and that's the second guy on the card that they've lost for not being able to make weight, and coupled with an injury too. So it's a really terrible thing. Miles, when you fought here, how much of a weight cut do you try to make?
Since amateur is for same day weigh-ins, I usually try to keep it around 6 or 7 pounds. Anything more than that, you're looking at cutting off a lot of your athletic ability. You know, weigh in maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, fight at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. It's not a lot of time to recover. I feel like I try to make really big weight cuts in the amateur league. I've never been a big fan of that.
Yeah, so another guy that never cut a lot of weight, Frankie Edgar's had a lot of success. I mean, he was cutting 2 or 3 pounds, when he was fighting.
Right, and you saw he had big stamina advantage, speed advantage over his opponent. Fedor and heavyweight, he probably could have made 185.
Yeah. Really, like I said, here in North Carolina, the rules are a little bit different. It's probably one of the reasons the UFC has only been here once since the ban was lifted, because for pros, it's about like 11 to 13 pounds over your weight that you're rehydrating at. So if you weigh 197 walking around and you cut to 170, they're going to weigh you again to make sure you're not over like 183, which in a way it makes sense because you really shouldn't have a welterweight fighting a light heavyweight or a middleweight. So I think there's a lot to be learned, and I think the sport just, it's at that point where it needs to change, because this is a pay-per-view night. Who's going to pay $60 to watch TJ Dillashaw and Soto go at it? Like, is your average fan that's going to go, wait a minute.
I try to watch every event. This one I'm trying real hard to get some interest over. I see lowest selling pay-per-view of all time.
Yeah, easily. No offense to Dillashaw, but he really should run through this kid, who is Soto's a former Bellator champion. But, he's hyped, he's ready, he's got a lot of reach, height on the kid. I think he's really amped up for a very high-quality opponent. And I think we can see a second-round finish from Dillashaw.
Yeah, I haven't seen many of Joe Soto's recent fights. They've been Tachi fights, and I haven't seen many of recent fights. He's on a big win streak, but I think TJ Dillashaw is on another level right now.
Yeah.
And also, I think this highlights another problem with UFC, other than weight cutting, too many events.
Yeah.
But you got next week you have Overeem, Rothwell, and Musasi, Jacare. If those are still on the card, this would be a worthy pay-per-view.
Absolutely, yeah. When they used to have big stacked events, when you could have like Frank Mir on the opening fight of your main card, that was great. 5 years ago, there was a few enough events to where you could still rearrange and put big name quality people in for good fights. Because even as recently as 3 years ago, Frank Mir had a good chance of beating any UFC heavyweight. That's just one example. So it's just overall they're spread so thin. One of the reasons I love Glory, you never hear about issues. These guys aren't ripped up monsters. Nobody's having problems making weight. They're having 6, 8, 9 quality events a year. So there's a lot to be said for building your own feeder system, is what the UFC has essentially done. They're saying that all these other small-time promotions don't have it right. It's like, we're going to grab this talent while they're really raw and young, and we're going to mold them. Whereas they can kind of get to a big-time level on their own in a small organization, but can't maybe afford it, to take less money than the UFC. So it's a tough life, in the world of mixed martial arts. And want to just anytime you're ready, come out, have a free lesson. We got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we got Muay Thai, we've got metabolic effect to get in great shape. I've lost 80 pounds. Miles is a fantastic instructor. Whenever the instructors are out of town, So